Most people hike to the summit of Table Rock, South Carolina for excellent views. I have done so twice, but this time I wanted to hike to the base of Table Rock. To do so, I followed a path used by people for generations to reach the saddle between the table and the stool of Table Rock. Cherokee legend says one of their gods ate from the giant table as he sat on the stool.
So this is Grant Meadow Overlook, they called it. They just built a little cutout on Highway 11 where you can come park and have a seat and then go read the marker, which I took pictures of, and then you come out and you've got a nice view of Table Rock.
Visible 1.3 miles northwest is the south face of Table Rock, described in the 1820s as South Carolina's monarch of the mountains. Part of Cherokee land until 1777, the Granite Mountain's broad summit and sheer precipices likely inspired its name. During an 1801 storm, Governor John Drayton and others exploring the 3,124-foot summit took shelter at a point on its west side, subsequently named Governor's Rock.
Two 150-foot flights of wooden steps were built to the summit's northeast edge in the 1830s. A new species later named Carolina hemlock was first identified on the mountain in 1837. In the 1840s, the two-story Table Rock Hotel opened near the mountain's base. From 1935 to 1941, the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, developed Table Rock State Park as one of the first in the South Carolina State Park system.
So the trailhead is just off this White Oak shelter. You can park here, and then the trailhead's off in the wood line down to the left rear of the building. So the shelter is right back down the trail that way, not very far at all. You can almost see it through the tree line. Now, when you start out, here's your kiosk. It's about rock climbing. That's not exactly why I'm here. So this trail has blue blazes and heads off toward the base of Table Rock. So just a little bit of history about this trail. I don't know if it has a name, but back in the early 1800s, there was a hotel here, Table Rock Hotel, and there was a trail that led off from the hotel. And what they would do is they would go to the base of Table Rock, and there was a set of stairs that were built into the side of the cliff where they could go up to the summit from the bottom. Now, these days, there's a trail that goes up the mountain to the summit from the park itself, from Table Rock State Park. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to go find some of the evidence of those stairs. I've heard that you can still see nails or bolts that they chiseled into the stone itself to kind of anchor those stairs. The stairs were wooden, so they're probably long gone, but that was what used to happen here. It was like a tourist destination. People would come up from Charleston and other places and stay in this hotel and then go to the summit, which is the most visible landmark around. It's, it's the jewel of this park, so to speak. So that would allow them a way to get to the top and see the summit. But it seems like the harder way to go. Probably the shorter way, but definitely more strenuous to climb up a set of stairs up this cliff. So we'll see if we can find some evidence of that. Okay, here's a pro tip for you. It's an indicator. It's not a for sure indicator, but if you are going down a trail and you're hitting every cobweb under the sun, it's probably likely you're the first one of the day to go through, which means you probably won't see a whole lot of hikers out on the trail. You can kind of gauge that by where you park too. If there's a whole bunch of vehicles, there's probably more people out there. But see, I parked and there was nobody, and I'm hitting all kinds of little cobwebs that spiders spun throughout the night. So it doesn't mean you're alone, but it means you're probably safe to say that there's not many people on the trail at this moment. Okay, a little bit confusing here. It says fire break access, not a hiking trail, but I was literally just on the hiking trail. Okay, maybe they're talking about this area straight ahead is a fire break. and you're not supposed to hike down there. But right next to it is this road. This leads to cabins, I think 15 and 16. You don't want to go down there. You want to go ahead and stay on the trail. And I just wanted to show you this so you didn't hit this point and get confused. Like, should I be here? Am I allowed here? If you continue on the hiking trail, you are. So right after that sign, there's a couple of little trails that crisscross here. Try to follow the blue blazes, and you can see the cabin right there over this little hill. You want to avoid that cabin and continue going down the trail. Keep looking for the blue blazes. All right, so I'm learning just like you guys are. There's a sign that cuts to the right here. It says TR climb, which I'm guessing is Table Rock climb, which is where I'm going. But then there must be another one, because it says P-Town climb, which is Pumpkin Town climb. So there must be two faces. Pardon me, out of breath, out of shape. Anyway, this is why I do these hikes in wintertime, because you can see through the foliage. I'm hitting a little bit of a ridge line here, and I can see through the trees the sheer face of Table Rock. Now, I've been up to the top looking down before. I've never been to the bottom looking up, so this is going to be something. But at least you know you're going in the right direction if you use terrain association like this. So I'm not filming a lot of the trail itself. It's pretty standard, except that you got to be prepared. It's mostly uphill going to the base, which makes sense now that I'm on the trail, but I didn't think of that prior to. So there you go. All right, here we are at the crest of another hill, and you can see clearly there's the face of the summit. And then over here is the Stool, which is covered in trees. Okay, I'm gonna guess, since we're rounding this little gap here, that there is the Stool. Well, here's a pretty shot. Well, when you finally make it over the ridge line between the Stool, which is that way, and Table Rock, which is that way, you can see the Table Rock Reservoir, which is pretty much your view from the summit. Not only that, you got a pretty good view of that sheer rock face. But anyway, it's a nice view when you come over the ridge line. It peps you up a little bit, gives you some hope.
Going further into the valley below is trespassing. The Table Rock Reservoir supplies drinking water to Greenville and is off limits. I spotted a patrol boat while filming this video, so do not attempt to go further.
Well, I'd say I'm close. I'm right up against the bottom of the rock face. So stand by, we'll see how this trail ends. All right, I dropped my ruck right down there. Hopefully nobody comes up behind me. But anyway, you got a real good view of the reservoir here. The Stool there, it drops off bad toward the valley. And then there's this rock face. Now I'm gonna go as far as I can, but I am not climbing. I'm just looking for one of these spikes, one of these. Hopefully I can find it. Maybe. There's holes cut in the rock at intervals, but I can't tell if this fell off of something, like they were trying to break the rock apart or what. Here's some more. This was definitely where some stairs were maybe put in, like maybe a flat set of stairs right here on the ground where you could like stand on a platform that was bolted into the rocks, or maybe some handheld rails, possibly. Okay, that's back toward the Stool. There's your crest of the ridge. Here I am sitting up on this rock overlooking the reservoir, and this is about where I'm gonna stop because I'm not climbing up that. I climbed up as far as I could before I felt like I was in danger. Plus I already found the holes in the rock where they had the handrails or steps or whatever they made. So mission accomplished. Found a little cave. I'm gonna go look under there for some carvings. Maybe there is some. Anyway, Just came off the rock here, getting dripped on from above, but this would be a place for shelter if you happen to be up here.